What is the worst thing about a project? Most of them come with a deadline. And if you constantly miss deadlines, you're bound to be in trouble if you're not already. So this video is for you. If you constantly miss deadlines, watch this till the end. Hello and welcome to another video. Hope you're all well and happy. Today's topic is deadlines, or how to meet deadlines. Deadlines. So what is a deadline? A deadline is when we set a time and a date to finish something by. Don't get me wrong guys, deadlines can get complicated, especially projects with small deadlines to achieve a final deadline, because if you start falling behind on the small deadlines, you will not be able to achieve that final deadline by the set time and date. Getting close to a deadline or missing a deadline can provoke a few problems. Unnecessary pressure, stress, anxiety, tension between teams, departments or people can be some of them. So to avoid these things, we tend to set unrealistic deadlines for ourselves most often than not. So let's look at a few reasons why we set unrealistic deadlines. Reason one is because we want to please people, superiors, friends, colleagues, a new team. So we tend to set unrealistic deadlines to please people or impress people, if that makes sense. Second reason is because we are bad at managing time or time management skills. The reason why I say this is because that people tend to set deadlines, but it's just a deadline for them. They sort of forget about all the other things that they have to do in that time frame, and then set a deadline, but you can't meet it because there's not enough time in a day to meet that deadline or to work towards that deadline. So when you're setting a deadline, take into consideration that there's only 24 hours in a day and there's only so much work you can do. The reason being that we overestimate our ability to deliver. Most often than not, there's a lot going on in our lives. Some tasks that we need to do are more important than the others. Some are less important. What I'm trying to say is that be careful, because life is unpredictable, work is unpredictable, things happen all the time around us. You only know how busy you are, so when you're setting your deadlines, don't make them very tight deadlines because you'll be struggling to meet them. Things are unpredictable, things can get in the way, so make sure that you give yourself a reasonable time to achieve that deadline. Anyway, having said that, deadlines are useful if you set them right. But before we talk about some of the benefits of setting deadlines, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, hit that subscribe button and hit the bell icon next to it so you don't miss out on any of my future uploads. Alright, some of the benefits of setting deadlines are: you will reduce procrastination, therefore you will become more productive because it will give you a sense of urgency to get the task done. It inspires creativity and problem solving skills, so rather than dwelling on ideas you already have, you will come up with new ideas. The 2 points I've spoken about will only lead you to one place. This is my favorite one. It will take you out of your comfort zone. You will start exploring new ideas and get over the fear of doing new things in order to meet the deadline, because you have to get things done and you will get it done and you will step out of your comfort zone. You will become more focused at everything else too, and you'll be able to prioritize more effectively to avoid missing that deadline. You start saying no to things that you should say no to. And also, when you finally meet that deadline or achieve that deadline or achieve the objective, you'll feel a sense of achievement that is priceless. Okay, amazing. How do I make sure that I hit the deadline or never miss one? Well, I'm about to tell you how. So make sure you have pen and paper to hand, only if you want. Point number 1, start now. Again, you don't have to finish it right away, but it's important that you start immediately. Trust me, this is what I did with my YouTube videos. It's something I've wanted to do for a while, but I've postponed it for a long time. So one day I got off the bed and decided that I'm going to start making videos, because some people wait for the right time, right people, right material, right topics, and they never get started. If you start now, you can build up the momentum later on. It doesn't have to be straight away. If you don't make a start, you'll never get to that stage of the momentum. So it's very important that you start now. It's probably the most important point out of all the points that I'm going to make today. Point number 2, if you have other people involved or you require other people's contributions to achieve your deadline, make sure you let them know what you need to meet the deadline. Let them know of the required time frames and required information for you to meet that deadline, and set deadlines for them, because that way you'll avoid disappointment later on and you'll be able to meet your deadline more efficiently. When other people are involved, they also have those problems that we spoke about, so make sure that you let them know and plan it in advance so that you waste less time waiting for others. Point number 3, before you set the deadline, make sure you get some well-deserved rest. Because if you don't, your mind will not be in the right place and you will not set realistic deadlines. So it's important that you sleep on it. That way you'll be able to set achievable and realistic deadlines. Point 4, work backwards. So imagine yourself one step before achieving that deadline. What do you have at that point in time and work backwards. That way you'll be able to backtrack it to where you are right now, and you'll be able to find out all the components that's required to achieve that deadline by that set date and time. Point number 5, it's important that you do some research and seek advice. Look at other projects that are similar to yours and evaluate how much time it took to complete that project. And also it's important to evaluate all the small details in that project and look at how much time it took to achieve those small elements. Speaking to people that have completed similar projects or people that have experience in completing projects like yours is also a great benefit. These two things might take up a bit of your time in the beginning, but as you get the project off the ground and as it's building up the momentum, it will save you a lot of time. So you might actually achieve the deadline even before the date and time that you set yourself to achieve that deadline. Point number 6, have a plan B, because things don't always go as planned. In case things go wrong, you'll have that safety net underneath you to achieve that deadline either way. So you'll have your plan A, and if that goes down, you'll have your plan B. So you'll never ever miss a deadline. Point number 7, do whatever it takes, because it's a deadline and you simply have to meet it regardless. Whatever you're going through, you're going to have to meet that deadline. So do whatever it takes, make the sacrifices and get it done, because you feel that sense of achievement and you feel like you haven't disappointed anyone. Also bear in mind that you let people know if you're going to miss a deadline. Your client, your boss, your team, your lecturers, whoever it is, let them know that you cannot hit that deadline. And also list down the reasons. Most often than not, people do understand that life gets in the way. They will actually appreciate it coming from you earlier than a couple of hours before you're supposed to meet the deadline. So make sure you let people know. Also, it's important you let them know when you can get it done by. So set yourself a new deadline, but make sure this time is realistic. You don't have all the time in the world to complete the project because you missed that deadline, and let them know that you'll get it done by this time and date, and work your ass off to get it done by that deadline, because once you miss a second deadline, people start losing trust in you. So it's important that you set yourself a second deadline and achieve what you're supposed to achieve by that deadline. On that note, it's time to end this video, guys. I hope you can set realistic and achievable deadlines after watching this video. If you're not a subscriber, hit subscribe and hit the bell icon next to it so you don't miss out on any of my future uploads. Smash that like button and share this video with your family and friends. And also add a comment in the comment section below. I really want to know what you guys are thinking about this topic and me in general. Thank you very much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.